Fis-servizz riservat tal-laqat li aħna qegħdin nagħmlu ma' immigranti Maltin illum sejrin nżuru d-distrett ta' Corktown fil-belt ta' Detroit fl-Istati Uniti tal-Amerika. Għal ħafna snin wara t-tieni gwerra dinjija, Corktown kienet iċ-ċentru tal-komunità Maltija f'din il-belt kbira tal-Istati Uniti li ġibdet lejha eluf ta' immigranti Maltin li sabu impjieg f'xi waħda mill-fabbriki kbar awtomobilisti. Corktown tinsab fuq in-naħa tal-lemin ta' Michigan Avenue, hekk kif tkun dieħel fiċ-ċentru finanzjarju kbir ta' din il-metropoli. Corktown u distrett residenzjali kwit. Hawnhekk iltqajna ma' Mary Muscat li emigrat bħala tifla żgħira mal-familja tagħha fis-snin ta' wara l-gwerra. X'taf tgħidilna dwar tfulita? Kif kienet tgħaddi l-ħin f'dawn is-snin? Illum Mary isi ta' djar f'dan id-distrett. X'ġabha hawnhekk?
Ngħidlek naqra fuq missieri u ommi. Ġew to Detroit in 1951. We arrived in New York. Mbagħad my CU he came to welcome us, and we ended up here in Detroit. His aunt and uncle lived down the street and were buying a house, so we got to rent their duplex. And this is how our story started. My parents had 3 children. There were 3 of us. I was the oldest, 4 years old. My middle brother was 2.5, and the youngest brother was 6 months old. And they came from Malta, Zebeh, Malta to be exact, with 3 small children on a ship that took 15 days to travel from Europe to here. And I really don't know how they did it with 3 small children like that. I was always amazed at my mother having the courage to leave her family in Malta. She was the only girl out of 7, 6 other brothers. So I knew it was a difficult time for her. But of course they adjusted. My father was really had the urge to come to America. I know he felt it was the land of opportunity and his dreams. And he worked very hard all his life. He was a business owner. He owned a gas station with his brother for many years. And in turn, along the way, they started buying these properties. And the first property they bought was down the street where we lived. The owners were old and the husband had passed away, and the wife decided to sell and asked my father if he was interested. And of course, he decided to go for it. And along the way, you know, a few years passed and there were other business owners in the area. In fact, there were attorneys that owned a poultry company here that owned the building on Bagley, the apartment buildings, as well as this building here, and approached my father, which I believe was in the 70s sometime, to if he was interested in purchasing these, which he did. So the time that we were growing up here in the 50s and early 60s, most of the neighborhood, I'd say about 80%, were Maltese origin. And so we had a lot of friends, a lot of kids that we played with growing up and down this Leverett Street. And it was good times for us. We didn't have a lot of fancy, no computers in those days, no fancy games. We played on our bikes, we roller skated, we played cards, we were outside all day long. 9 o'clock at night we were out on the streets still, while mothers like my mother and other mothers, we sat on the porch watching out for us kids. Because my dad worked long hours. He worked 10, 11, 12 hours a day. But Sundays was family day. And my dad always made sure that he took us out somewhere. We either went to family picnics with other Maltese friends where we got together, going to other people's homes, etc., you know, or for a Sunday drive. My dad loved driving around and made sure that we got our hamburger and ice cream on Sundays.
Veri tiftakar żmien meta f'Corktown il-Maltin kienu jipprattikaw bisħieħ id-drawwiet li ġabu magħhom mingħajr twilidhom. Il-Malti kien l-ilsien l-iktar popolari u għaldaqstant l-identità Maltija kienet ħajja u evidenti.
ħafna kellna ħafna nies kif jgħidu li kienna niftehmu because we had the same backgrounds and the same ideals for their families. It was family oriented here. The men, you know, worked hard to provide for their families, to make sure that they had whatever that they needed. And the women in those days, they stayed home to raise their families. And I know that we were not ones that got in trouble at school, but I know that if there was some issue, we came home and told Mom, the first thing she would say is, "What did you do? Why would the nun say that or do that to you if you were not doing something you're not supposed to?" So our parents raised us, and I'm sure a lot of the other parents in the neighborhood raised us to be honest, hardworking, and respectful of other people.
Il-filmati li qed iwasslu jixed l-istat attwali ta' Corktown. Mary qaltilna li xi djar fiż-żona għadhom abitati minn familji Maltin jew ta' nisel Malti. Iżda l-biċċa kbira ta' dik il-komunità Maltija vibranti ta' snin 50, 60 u 70 illum ħarġet iktar il-barra miċ-ċentru ta' Detroit, b'riżultat li illum Corktown ibis eku mill-modi.
Well, you know, you'd be surprised. There are several Maltese that are still living here. And what happened is some of them that were raised, even born here at the time, their parents are gone. They kept the house and have stayed here. But my parents we moved out in 1962. And we moved to a suburb not too far from here, Dearborn. And at that time, the area was starting to slowly decline. And probably 70% of the people, Maltese people that were living here at the time, started moving out of the neighborhood, 60s, early 70s. And pretty soon, that's what happened. They kind of went out into the suburbs, Dearborn or Dearborn Heights area. Imħabba l-iktar naħseb imħabba l-iskejjel. Rridu t-tfalijiet ikollhom education aħjar milli jikkellimaw in the public school. We went to a private school, Catholic school, and a lot of the children on the block, the Maltese children, went to the Catholic school because our parents wanted us to have the religious background that they were brought up with as well. So naturally we all went to church on Sunday and you know, respected our religion that way.
Ir-rakkont ta' Mary Muscat u wieħed tipiku bħal dak ta' bosta migranti oħra Maltin li fittxew futur aħjar f'pajjiż imbiegħed fi żmien meta Malta ftit li xejn setgħet toffri futur sabiħ. Huma stejjer f'tifkir sempliċi iżda sinifikattivi ferm għaliex iwasluna b'mod dirett ix-xewqat u l-aspirazzjonijiet tal-emigrant Malti nofs seklu ilu u aktar, meta pajjiżi kbar bħall-Istati Uniti tal-Amerika kienu f'moħħ ħafna artijiet tal-ħon. Fis-servizz ta' bħallum ġimgħa nibqgħu f'Corktown, Detroit, sabiex Mary Muscat tkompli tgħaddilna tarif dwar dan id-distrett b'tifkiriet ta' belt li baqgħet tiżviluppa ma' żminijiet.